The hardest and worst paid jobs in the world. Let's check this out.
Some of the hardest, most dangerous, and lowest paid jobs in the world are found in Dhaka, the most densely populated city on the planet, where there are so many people that hiring a man for a day is common. It's cheaper than buying a six-pack of beer. These workers are paid approximately $7 per day. They work 8 to 10 hours a day. Some even work up to 18 hours a day, using their physical strength to earn as little as $6. For this reason, machines are not used
Yeah, in a lot of Western countries, these will be automated with machines to some degree,
for
I guess.
construction or road work.
Oh,
In this country, it is cheaper to hire humans than to rent machines.
that's insane.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I hope you're all doing great. Friends, today we are in the 5th most densely populated country on Earth. We are in Bangladesh, a country that ranks just behind nations like Singapore and Monaco. This means that among large countries, this is the most densely populated in the world. Here, in a territory of 147,000 square kilometers, about 3 times the size of Costa Rica and nearly the size of Nicaragua, there aren't just 5 million people like in Costa Rica, or 7 million like in Nicaragua. Here, 170 million people live. Everywhere you look, there are
And
people.
Bangladesh is like 100 times or something more smaller than Russia. Meanwhile, Russia has 100 million people, or 150. Something like that. And Bangladesh has more. That's
And as an
insane.
extra fact, we are in Dhaka, the country's capital and the most densely populated city in the world. In an area like this, it is estimated that there are approximately
Bro, all of these
150,000
people look so pissed at him.
people per square kilometer. This extreme overpopulation has led to an unimaginable and cruel problem. With so many men willing to work, machines are considered an unnecessary luxury. Companies and the government prefer to hire hundreds of workers rather than rent a machine because it is cheaper to pay a
Damn,
man
look
for a
at this,
week
like,
than to rent
huge,
a
like,
machine for a
families
day.
working together.
For this reason, the streets of Dhaka are built with picks and shovels instead of drills, and workers carry tons of materials on their backs instead of using forklifts. Even places like Dubai have imported workers from Bangladesh to build their incredible skyscrapers. One of the major problems caused by extreme overpopulation, which very few people talk about, is the lack of jobs. There are so many people that the job market is oversaturated, making it nearly impossible to find work. On top of that, the overpopulation issue in this city isn't due to a high birth rate. It's not that there are a ton of babies being born every year.
Really?
In fact, the birth rate is relatively
What?
low. Instead, about 700,000 people migrate from rural areas of Bangladesh to Dhaka every year. This makes things even worse because it becomes harder to find a job, and housing becomes more expensive. For example, imagine that in your town or city, there are 10 taxi drivers covering the entire area and 3 barbers. Now imagine that suddenly, 500 taxi drivers and 300 barbers arrive. The only way to compete...
I mean, yeah, what you would expect all of the services in your city to become much cheaper. Yeah, but your salary also gets much lower. Because there's a million people who want to work your same job.
is by drastically lowering
It's fucking
prices.
horrible.
And even then, some people will still be left without work.
That's
This is what
sad.
happens in this city. That's why, on every corner, you see groups of people waiting for their chance, waiting for their moment, to work, making labor extremely cheap. This is why Dhaka is cruelly called the City of Machines, because men here are said to work like machines, working 12 to 18 hours a day for an absurdly low wage. In the end, hiring people is cheaper than using machines for almost everything. Right now, we are looking at a building under construction that will be 7 stories tall. It's massive, and it's incredible to see how the foundations, which will be buried maybe 20 or 30 meters underground, are being dug by men. There's no machinery involved, as is common in most large construction projects.
Here's another problem that I'm noticing. So, if you have more people to work, that doesn't mean that they're all quality people to work. Like, yeah, a lot of them are actually maybe educated in a lot of, good engineering practices. I mean, not good. Everything they have to know for engineering, they should be, they have to know this to be able to do this. But these people don't have any safety measures. They don't have any the company would give them the tools, they would give them gear. They are just with look at them. They look like they just came from the beach. Like some of them, right? This is not a way to work. This is not safe at all. Also, how many of these people actually have the knowledge to construct something that will be stable and safe? Like, one earthquake happens, and what happens if there's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, tens of thousands of buildings created like this? You know what I mean?
Because it's much cheaper to pay men to do the work than to bring in an excavator, for example. These workers are paid approximately $7 per day, working 8 to 10 hours daily.
Insane.
The men overseeing the construction are likely supervisors or foremen. What I find shocking is that this boy in pink looks underage to me, as does the one in blue.
Yeah, there's no freaking way these kids know how to build a safe freaking 7-story, 10-story building.
Hello, hello. Yes, definitely. Hello. He must be underage, and he's already working in construction. With so many people, space is scarce, and rent
Bro, I'd be scared to visit this city. I would think my hotel would collapse.
prices are high. Opening a shop is nearly impossible. That's why the streets turn into makeshift workshops. This is where shoemakers work, where electricians repair appliances on street corners, and where vendors...
Yeah, this is different. I think you can do this without having that much experience. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, you fucked up my shoe. Big deal. I'll be buying you shoes, I guess. Or find a better, more experienced shoemaker or
set
whatever.
up shop even under parked trucks just to have a place to work and sell. Every square inch of land here is owned by someone. For example, it's not uncommon to find a barber working right on the edge of the street. He tells us that a haircut like this can cost 50 cents, and a full cut, including beard trimming, costs 80 cents. You can even find doctors on the street.
How clean are all of those tools for, you know, cutting hair and all the... are you gonna trust them that are clean? I don't know about that one.
He tells us that he earns approximately $120 a month working here on the sidewalk. And he doesn't just do things like measure blood pressure. He even conducts blood sugar tests and provides initial treatments for diabetics. A blood
Why would you trust stuff like this? I mean, yeah, take the, I don't know, take the test, but don't take the medicine.
test costs about $1.
I mean, if you're somebody living in these conditions in this city, I don't know if you're ever gonna have a better choice or something more worth your money. I don't know.
This analysis to check my blood pressure costs around 20 cents. Okay? We're good. Our blood pressure is like new. For example, on this side of the river, we find someone selling street food. Over here, someone is selling tea. In another small space, someone is selling homemade bread. And if we keep walking toward the riverbank, we find someone who has a small market, thank God, because I need some water. Salam alaikum. Costa Rica. Yes. Thank you. Bangladesh, beautiful country. There's even a mechanic shop here by the riverbank. These men have set up a bicycle repair.
I've never heard anyone saying that some country is not beautiful. Every country has beautiful nature, that's true. But whether, you know, our communities are beautiful, that depends on us humans. And a lot of times, in every single country, there's places that are not that beautiful.
Shop
Same with my place, with my country,
Look at
in
all
Eastern
the
Europe.
customers they have. Here's another one fixing a bike, and look at all the ones in line. And back there, the river. The official...
Yeah, I trust this more. I don't think you need that much experience and knowledge to be able to fix, you know, bikes and all of these little cars, or if you can call them cars, whatever these are called. Like, at least there's a lot of people starting some kinds of small businesses that are, you know, unique to the area, because this is not really stuff that you would need to do in like the US or Europe, because stuff like this, nobody uses stuff like this on a
minimum
daily
wage in
basis.
Bangladesh is 12 takas, 15,500 takas per month, approximately $100, meaning that a large part of the population lives on $3.3 a day or less. One of the hardest, most dangerous, and worst paid jobs in Bangladesh can be found here, on the banks of the Buriganga River. This is one of the toughest jobs in the city. These workers are responsible for repairing or dismantling ships.
Again, how knowledgeable are these workers? Because I'm supposed to go with these ships outside on the open ocean. If you're just randomly employing people just to have as many people as possible, employed to work because it's better than having machines. I mean, I guess teaching somebody to work on a machine is easier than teaching somebody to do everything, right? Even though I still think they should know how to do everything manually, plus how the machine works, plus how the machine is designed, right? I wouldn't be trusting this.
On their condition. Ships arrive, they are placed here, and if they are completely unusable, they are taken apart, piece by piece. All the iron is removed to be reused for construction. They sell the propellers, they sell everything separately. Or, if the ship can still be used, they repair it and put it back in the water. This job is in high demand.
I mean, I guess everybody in Bangladesh learns very easily and a lot.
Because this port here is the port of the largest river in all of Southeast Asia. So,
Yep.
many people dedicate themselves to different tasks, from the lowest jobs, like sanding or painting ships, to even underwater welding, which is a very specialized job requiring different machinery and other complexities.
My name is Kabjul. I have been working in this shipyard for 30 years. I feel happy with my job. I work 8 hours a day and earn $6 a day. I'm very happy with my work, and there is nothing I would like to change about it or my life.
One of the most impressive things
I
about
wish more people were like that. Good for you, man.
this interview is that I asked him what the worst part of this job is, and he said there is no worst part. He loves this job. You have no problems?
No problem.
No problem? You love it?
I love this job.
Amazing. People do their jobs happily.
Bro, the people here are so thankful to even get the most basic fucking job because they know it's so hard to get a job and live in this city. And it's probably like there's a scarce amount of jobs. The jobs are scarce in this city a lot, and probably in towns and other rural areas around the country. There's probably even less jobs. So
This is
I
truly
see
impressive.
why he would be thankful.
I don't know how many times I've said this today.
We can learn something from this. Us people
Workers
from the
here
West.
in Bangladesh,
from Europe and
it's
North
no
America.
wonder they are called machines. Look at how they work without any kind of safety measures.
Yeah.
Just look here. These guys are hanging with some
Look at
makeshift
this.
setup. They don't have
Like
ladders.
here in Europe or in like North America or in Australia or in other parts of East Asia, like you would be geared up. You would have a not a rope, yeah, maybe a rope, but also a metal rope, I guess you can call it, connected somewhere up or on. You would have tons of safety precautions and measures. Okay, not just one. These people, he's just standing on a fucking wooden desk.
They don't have scaffolding. They don't wear harnesses. In factories, they work without anything to filter plastic fumes. Of course, this is part of something very cruel. In a way, the fact that there are no regulations, no laws providing them with certain guarantees, is very harsh. But they work like machines. Look at everyone here, working and repairing ships, and no one complains. Out of all the people we've interviewed today, they all say it's fine, that their job is fine.
Damn.
I have been working at this port for 6 months. I work 8 hours a day and earn $4 a day. Most of the time,
$4 a day.
every time I
This
hear
is the lowest one.
a very loud noise, this can damage my hearing. That is the worst part of my job.
This job we are about to see sometimes requires up to 18 hours of non-stop work. What they do here is take apart pieces from dismantled ships, like this propeller, for example, which is broken and no longer works. They have to take it, put it into a furnace, which, in fact, is currently boiling. And there's no kind of safety here. No, nothing indicates anything.
Bro, you can just fall inside.
People don't wear masks.
This is
They don't wear
insane.
anything. Here, they melt the propeller and turn it into liquid metal. Then, inside here, there's a guy in charge of digging out the shape of the propeller, like the one we can see in the back. Once the shape is ready, they pour the liquid metal, or this liquid material, so that the propeller comes out new. Completely.
Yo,
repaired.
these people have some insane ass skills for being able to do this. Like nobody in the West would be digging like the correct dimensions for the propeller. They would all have machines that do this probably in like a minute.
Sometimes they work up to 15, 16, 18 hours, depending on demand, and they earn $130 a month. Approximately 75,000 colognes. Among everything
Yeah,
we've
if I was
seen,
here, I would much rather work as the guy with the medical shit, with the medicine and all of this. Plus, a lot of that medicine might be just fake, and who's gonna regulate and stop you? Nobody. If something happens, who's gonna find you? The cops? Yeah, good fucking luck. So it's a double-edged sword.
We haven't even mentioned the overwhelming amount of trash generated by this extreme overpopulation. Just look at what we have here. In the background,
and the mosque noises in the background.
A river. One of the most polluted rivers on the entire planet. One of the few that has already died biologically due to pollution. And on top of that, Bangladesh is the most polluted country on Earth.
Yep, I already made a video on this. You can check out on my channel.
We'll explore further in a
This
full
guy
video.
makes great videos.
So subscribe and show this content a lot of love if you like it. It's quite difficult to come all the way here. One of the most oversaturated jobs is that of freight transporters. Usually, people who didn't study or didn't have the opportunity to learn anything end up doing this type of work. However, they are an essential part of the city's transportation and logistics system. Many work transporting raw materials to small plastic factories.
My name is Bello Halshin. I work as a porter. I work 12 to 14 hours a day and earn between 12 to $15 daily. But it's very little
$12 to
money.
$15 daily, and they are the least educated people. Well, they're making more money. A lot of the people we heard were making like $8 constructing buildings, which should be more compared to this. The guys fixing up ships. One of the guys was making one of the guys was making $4 a day. He said this guy's making $15 a day. It's more like
Some
more than
simply
double.
transport whatever they are asked to.
My name is Abdul Malik. I work in a garment factory. I work 10 to 12 hours.
No, okay, this is $8 to $9.
Earn between $8 and $9 daily. I feel very happy with my lifestyle.
Others
Damn.
transport loads of up to 1 ton.
My name is Shalom. I've worked for 30 years with no set hours, sometimes 10 to 12 a day. I earn $18 to $20 daily and pay my
$18 to $20. I mean, this is not a lot, but this is a great amount compared to what we heard so
hope
far.
to do it for life.
This makes no sense.
For life.
Look at the load this porter is carrying.
Holy
it's as if
shit.
he were a truck. These are the people who pull carts here in Bangladesh. And look at the size of the cart. And
Yo,
the
well,
load.
imagine unpacking that. You think he has every place he needs to go mapped out, so he needs to take out everything from the outside then to in? Like, what if he, I don't know, first delivers goods to some place where he needs to take out something from the middle? Yeah, that would be painful.
The load this man is carrying is so large that it has collapsed traffic. In fact, look, people are yelling. Everyone is angry with him because the load is hitting things as he moves,
Yep,
and he can't
no
pass.
regulation.
On top of that, people still throw themselves into the street, making things worse. What we're about to see breaks my heart, because this entire problem even affects children. We're about
Yep,
to
of
enter a
course it
plastic
does.
factory, and even with a mask on, I can feel the plastic on my face. It's entering through my nose. And here, we find a child who might be around 10 years old. His job is to grab the plastic pieces coming out of this machine, take them out, and polish them without any kind of protection, not even a mask. And behind him, they are also making
Insane.
plastic lids. This is a factory owned by someone who hires these workers. And for example, the child, who we don't even know if he's telling the truth, earns approximately $70 a month, working 6 to 8 hours a day here. In Dhaka, while some work up to 18 hours a day for miserable wages, there are others who don't even have access to a job. The Hijra are a transgender community recognized as the third official gender in Bangladesh. And
There's
here,
a transgender community and a third gender in Bangladesh? I was not expecting this from South Asia, okay.
there are no opportunities for them. They have to survive by begging on the
Bro,
street.
there's no opportunities for the average human. You're thinking of gender rights and equality rights. Bro, you don't have enough. You don't have a safe enough building to live in because it was constructed by underage kids who haven't even finished high school. You're expecting gender equality in such a place? Nah, man, this is so sad.
and selling their bodies. People commonly feel the need
Ah.
to give them money because of the situation they live in.
Yeah.
Due to the lack of space and rising housing prices, many people sleep in their workplaces, in trucks, in carts, under staircases. Those who manage to afford an apartment must live overcrowded in very small rooms, or some even live under bridges.
My name is Mr. Farouk. I have lived here for 30 years. I live here because
30 years.
I don't have the money for an apartment. And haven't
Yo,
been
there's
able-
people out there that are multi-billionaires, and then we have people like this. Yeah, we got to do something about this. I'm not saying about throwing money out there. Throwing money at poor countries doesn't help poor countries. Just so you know, they are poor because of many reasons. Because of, you know, the fucking politicians are just gonna misuse that money and just build wealth for themselves.
to find a job. So I stay here. It's very difficult to live with 25 people here during the rainy season. The mosquitoes have been a
25
huge
people.
problem, and living here has been difficult because of the dirt and all the trash. We are suffering here, but we cannot afford to live in an apartment.
But why are you guys making more kids? I don't.
Due to extreme overpopulation, hospitals are overwhelmed. This hospital behind me is a public hospital in Bangladesh, and it's estimated that there are only 5 doctors per every 10,000 people. On top of that, private hospitals are inaccessible. They are unaffordable for most of the population. I've visited chaotic and overcrowded places, but never in my life have I seen anything like this. Look, the traffic doesn't move. Sometimes people can't even walk because traffic blocks this small pedestrian path. If I want to cross, I have to climb over a public transport vehicle. And when a car tries to pass, everything collapses. That's what I mean. When a car comes through, everyone has to squeeze to the side.
Bro, how do people live? How do people like go to work, go to school, sleep? Like, I mean, he said people sleeping at their work. How do people do anything? Like, I feel like if I just want to go to my like nearby store to buy some, I don't know, some chips or whatever, right, to watch a movie at home, I'd have to struggle 1 hour outside because of everything.
To let it
It's
pass.
just chaos.
People tackle.
This is what happens when you leave people and a government unregulated with no rules and no laws, and this is what happens.
On the car, warning the driver to be careful, but no one gets mad. I'm the only one completely shocked. For them, it's normal, just part
I
of
will
daily
never
life.
complain about traffic in Europe or the US ever in my life.
Friends, markets in this part of the world are insane, especially here in Bangladesh. These are the cheap butcher shops where most people buy chicken, fish, and shrimp because
fuck
supermarkets are
that.
expensive, only for the wealthy. So here is where you find meat, vegetables,
so
and even live
insane.
animals for sale. Interestingly,
Ugh!
in most markets like this,
Go buy some, chicken and fish that weren't clean, that weren't, they were touched by unclean people, because you work in a supermarket, in this kind of a market. What do you expect? Those are the environments. That's no other way to do it. And there's also stray animals on the streets licking your potential food. Amazing.
visited, the smell.
And flies, who are also all around the place, in the trash, in the shits, in the poo in the streets, and now they're touching the meat you're gonna
is
buy.
Usually
Oh,
so
man.
strong that you'd want to run away, but not here. Honestly, it feels like a relatively clean market. They sell chicken here for $2.50. That's 1,250 colones per kilo. And something really curious, they have pigeons. At first, I thought they were selling them for food. I asked how much they cost, but they told me no, they're pets. In Islam, or at least here in
Really?
Bangladesh, pigeons are believed to bring good luck. So
Interesting.
some businesses keep pigeons as pets. What you're seeing behind me right now is a fruit and vegetable auction. They're unloading a container and people are placing bids. All these people standing on the side of the road, there's barely any space. Look at how things get when trucks pass by. Everyone is bidding on the produce the sellers are offering. This is a wholesale market. It's insane. At first glance, the streets of Bangladesh have a very shady business going on. You see thousands of these little cards scattered on the ground. And from what I've been told, if you call, you can get anything, from an escort to drugs of all kinds. And you might wonder, if these cards are everywhere with phone numbers, why doesn't the police do anything? Well, it's because
Police? You think the government has, like, some kind of control over this? No, the police probably, you know, go through ports where there's richer people out there, okay? People who actually pay a bigger percentage of the taxes, and they get more of the police and the private hospitals and all of this. You already said, most stuff when it comes to medicine is unaffordable to people. Then why do you think police would waste their time? Like, how do you control a place like this? There's so much traffic. There's people everywhere. You think you're gonna stop thousands of people in a square mile? Like multiple thousands of people. There's no way you'll be able to control this. You'll get destroyed. So it's probably more policing around richer areas.
big criminal organizations that bribe the police, and that's how this kind of business operates.
Yeah, even the police probably are one of these kinds of normal people, obviously, and they just want to make an honest living and, you know, help their families out. So obviously they're going to also take bribes. I'm not condoning this. I'm obviously not. But I'm saying I understand stuff they're doing. Like, if I'm put in this kind of a situation, and we would be doing the same things.
The wind is starting to blow because the monsoon season is about to begin in Bangladesh, bringing total chaos. When the wind blows, the dust becomes unbearable. It gets in your eyes, your throat, your nose. You can't breathe. I don't know if you can see it, but all that haze is pollution and dust. This is something I never imagined witnessing. And now I'm seeing an electrician fixing a power issue in the middle of this tangled mess of electrical cables that cover the city.
Yep, good luck. One minor mistake and a huge fire.
Friends, this is where today's incredible and shocking video ends.
Yeah, that is insane. I was not expecting all of this information. Let's see, average age expectancy in Dhaka is 74 years? That is surprising. 74 years. It's insanely low. But for what we saw, yeah, 74. Okay, well, yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments. And have a nice day.